All right, welcome back to another segment of Good Vibes with, of course, the beautiful Debbie Cox Denova. There she is. And last time we were talking about positive thinking. But we're going to morph into something that's very important because with all this COVID going on, people are stuck in the house together.
They are.
And you really find out who your partner is
You do.
when you're cramped up in that house. And I don't care how big your house is, it's hard to hide.
Yes.
Sometimes. So just a few tips for people out there who their nerves might be a little frayed during COVID. What's some helpful hints that you could give them to ease that off a little bit?
So this is great. There's so much that I could say about this, and this information comes from the Gottman Institute and Dr. John Gray mostly, and it really is about the differences of the way that we're wired as women and men. There's a huge problem, first of all, for women. It's that what we're finding is that women are twice as stressed out as men, and at home they're actually 4 times as stressed out as men, and it's because of the way that we are differently hardwired. So for men, when you go out and you have what's we call a bigger left parietal frontal lobe, okay? And so that means that you're good at problem solving and completing tasks and creating solutions. And when you do that as a man, your testosterone rises. Now, for a man, testosterone rising is actually a stress-reducing thing, okay? Women aren't quite hardwired, in general, women are not hardwired the same way. So we go out into the workplace, we come home, we're stressed out. The way that we typically want to de-stress as women is to connect, okay? So we have a bigger right front parietal lobe, and we want to connect. And when we connect, our estrogen rises, and so too does a beautiful hormone called oxytocin, which is that love hormone that has us bonding with babies and things. The way that we do that is through conversation and connection. So if I'm a woman coming home and I'm talking to my husband about my day and it's so stressful, and I'm bringing out all of the problems of my day, in my mind, what I'm wanting is for him to listen and to connect with me, right? That's going to help me de-stress. But for a man, typically, if a man brings a problem forward, it's because he can't find a solution on his own and he's asking for advice. So a common thing that happens between partners, male and female partners, is that the woman will come with her problems in order to have a space to connect with the man, and he will see a problem that needs a solution, and he'll offer a solution. So cut her off and I offer a solution, okay? And she will bat it away because she's already got her own solutions within herself. She just needs somebody to talk to.
Right.
So she continues to talk. The man continues to try to solve the problem. And this creates frustration within her. I'm trying to share with you about my day, and I'm trying to solve your problem, right? And so this is a very common thing where men and women butt up against each other. And it's because, again, he's hardwired to solve that problem. She's hardwired for connection. So it's not the same sort of thing. Now, so if you know this, okay, so what happens in a man is this. When there are big stresses that happen for a man becomes more emotional. And a big stress is basically a problem that you can't solve and you can't stop thinking about it. So you can imagine this conversation becomes that, right? I can't stop thinking about your problem because you're talking about it, and I can't solve it. So frustration happens. When that happens, there is an enzyme that is released into the body called aromatase. And aromatase actually converts testosterone to estrogen. Now, estrogen is stress reducing for women, but for men, estrogen is not stress reducing. It's the opposite. So when aromatase happens, what happens is the testosterone converts to estrogen. Now a man goes into new levels of aggravation just to problem solve, right? And that, of course, is not conducive to bonding and relationships. So this is the solution, right? Man wants to solve problem, woman wants to connect. All a man needs to know to help the woman de-stress, because again, the original problem is that she's twice as stressed out in the workplace, 4 times as stressed out at home. When they've done scans and research, they show that when a man sits, he literally thinks about barely anything. Like, he literally thinks about nothing. Whereas when a woman sits, her brain activity increases and she's thinking about all the things that she should be doing, right? So if a man wants to help a woman de-stress, all he needs to do is allow her to talk, and unless she asks for solutions to something, he doesn't feel like he has to offer her anything. Also, notice the little things. comment on her hair, make connections for her, do little things. Every little thing that a man does for a woman, brings her coffee, that will create this bond and help her to release the oxytocin, which will help reduce her stress. So it feels like, it can feel like to a man like, oh my gosh, it's a lot of work. But in actuality, it's meant for women and men to have this symbiotic relationship that benefits him as well. So if he is actually doing all these small little things, then everything that he wants from a woman, which let's just be honest, most of the time is just sex, right? And men are very simple. Most of what the man wants out of a woman comes naturally when she's in her feminine, when she's able to lower her stress. If she associates him with lowered stress, then she actually gets hits of oxytocin all throughout the day when she's sharing with her friends the things that he does. And in the end, he benefits from that quite naturally because she shows up the way he wants her to show up, and he's showing up the way that she wants. And that is a beautiful solution to solve both a man and a woman's needs and relationships.
All I can close this segment and say, wow. And guys at home, LISTEN, listen.
Yes.
And then when she wants advice and she wants you to talk, I guess she'll make that very clear. Great show, Debbie. We appreciate it. And stay tuned to HTV for more good vibes with Debbie Cox Denova right here on HTV.